gonna put my boot between your gums.
Oh man, that was really fun.
Yeah, it really was. Were you serious about doing another one?
Oh, definitely. I was thinking Jack Sparrow.
Ooh, that's a good one, but not today. I'm busy with convention stuff, and plus I got a list of characters I really want to do.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's shoot for next week.
1 week later.
You ready, dude?
Oh shoot. Sorry man, I can't this week. I got a video I gotta work on.
No problem. Next week.
Another week later.
Yo, we doing this?
Oh god, that was this week?
No problem, next week.
1 more week later.
Big Pokemon stream!
How long have I been here?
Crossover episode.
Animating.
What have I done with my life?
JoJo's birthday.
Dungeon Master video.
Has Been Hotel!
I need to call my parents.
More animating.
So much longer that the old editor got tired of waiting and they had to hire me.
Alright, finally, we're ready to do this.
Whoa! What happened to you?
Every time we procrastinated on this video, I did one push-up.
Jesus Christ.
Howdy, friendos. My name is Stuart, and everyone give a huge welcome to JoCat!
The real one. This one. JoCat is on hold because I'm coming to terms with the reality of how exhausting it is to play up a character for so long that requires constant energy that I'm unable to keep up with without experiencing serious creative burnout and personal self-doubt.
Oh. Yeah. Anyway, let's introduce the star of the Pirates of the Caribbean films, Jack Sparrow.
Captain Jack Sparrow. For anyone who may be so young as to not know, Pirates of the Caribbean was originally a ride at Disneyland. Not Disney World in Florida, Disneyland in California. It had animatronic pirates and cool one-liners and this one song about how fun it is to be a colonial-era pirate, and not at all any of the horrific things that they historically did during that time period. And with its original creation, there was no one character, just a bunch of pirates, hence the name. Captain Jack was a totally original creation for the movie based on Keith Richards and other old-school rock stars from around that time. If anyone has the interest, Captain Jack's conception and creation process is really interesting, and I highly recommend looking into it. As far as Captain Jack as a character, though...
Jack Sparrow was a legendary pirate of the Seven Seas and a high fantasy version of Earth where pretty much every single pirate or vaguely mystical ocean story is canon. Son of legendary Captain Edward Teague, he started as a teenage stowaway who sailed on a ship called the Barnacle with a young ragtag group of individuals and... Man, this story's gotten big.
Captain Jack Sparrow at this point is such a massive Disney property that he's practically the pirate icon of the modern age. His fictional history has expanded into dozens of books, comics, and several video games, all of which are canonical. In order to answer the question, what alignment is Jack Sparrow, we feel like we can get a good enough sample of his placement just by watching the movies. What's important to know about Jack is that he's a famous pirate, and he's what's known as a pirate lord, and what that means is vague on purpose, even in universe. And while it might be fun to look at every single game and comic and book, it wasn't even fun to look at every movie. And besides, we just don't have the time.
Besides, Jack's backstory and lore isn't really all that important. Outside of movie 5... Wait, there were 5? I only remember 4 of these.
Movie 5 is kind of like the Age of Ultron of the pirate movies. It's not the worst, and in fact some parts of it are genuinely good. Which means it's too important to leave out for how low the quality of writing actually is. It even has a half-baked villain too.
This is the point where we're going to introduce personal biases. Movie 1, pretty much perfect.
Movie 2, good, but confused.
Movie 3, bittersweet.
Movie 4, blech. Movie 5, kind of okay.
We tend to disagree on these last two. See, I kind of had the opposite reaction. I kind of liked 4, but hated 5.
You calling me Cutlass dull, you landlubbing scallywag?
We'll talk more about the final results in the post-analysis, but as always, I do want to be fully honest going forward.
Speaking of going honest, that so is not what Captain Jack Sparrow is. He lies, cheats, and steals, as most pirates are wont to do. He mostly just looks out for number 1, but surprisingly attempts to do so in a way that has as little collateral damage to innocent people as possible, and even keeps his word surprisingly often. Only really his methods of achieving such things are on the more chaotic end.
And with that, I think it's fairly appropriate to label Jack's starting alignment at chaotic neutral, and to be honest, when most people are making these charts, they slap him there anyway. By the nature of being chaotic neutral, his ending alignment is probably not chaotic neutral, at least on paper. Granted, that's the limitation of my system, but, you know, it still works. And with all of that out of the way, let's go.
Did you miss me in this video? What, are you gonna cry and poo and pee your pants? Can't live without me? Well, poo and pee no more, because now you can snuggle and cuddle with something that contains the clothified essence of my honkin' stonkin' muscles. And that's the JoCat Dakimakura, found at LoadingCrewCrafts.com. LoadingCrewCrafts.com, where all Dakis, including mine, are made with two-way tricot, which is basically the Taj Mahal of body pillows. They never wrinkle, are smoother than Stu's tiny chicken brain, and are always the cool side of the pillow. Order now on LoadingCrewCrafts.com with the coupon code STONKS for a free JoCat mini Daki and a business card with washing instructions. I know what you internet freaks do in your free time, and now you know how to buy hot merch. You're welcome.
Nat 20 scene. Best character introduction.
What do you say to 3 shillings? And we forget the name.
Chaotic neutral. Twice.
It is my intention to commandeer one of these ships, pick up a crew and Tortuga, raid, pillage, plunder, and otherwise pilfer my Weasley black guts out.
Tell the truth. That's what they'll be least expecting. Lawful neutral.
Do not lose this.
Just because he's a criminal doesn't mean he's a monster. Neutral good.
No, don't shoot!
Literally his only option to escape. This is tricky, but we're gonna say taking a hostage is lawful evil.
Crossing blades with a pirate. You threaten Miss Swan.
Jack offers to leave without escalating the confrontation. He even offers Will a chance to back out. Neutral.
I shall take you to the Black Pearl and your bonny lass. Do we have an accord?
Jack makes a deal for Will for his freedom. Lawful neutral.
I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Savvy?
Jack steals a ship. Twice. Chaotic neutral.
That is the child of Bootstrap Bill Turner. Leverage, says you.
Jack plans to use Will as leverage in a bargain to get back the pearl. He tells this plan to Mr. Gibbs. Lawful evil.
You stole my boat.
Actually, you'll get another one.
That one.
What one? That one?
Jack promises the interceptor to Anne Maria if she and her friends help get the pearl. Lawful neutral.
Gents, y'all remember Captain Jack Sparrow. The girl's blood didn't work, did it?
Jack invokes Parlay and presents a deal to Barbossa that gives him back his ship, but also does not betray Will. Lawful good.
He spent 3 days lying on a beach drinking rum.
Welcome to the Caribbean, love.
Jack gives up and offers to drink and give in to cardinal pleasures until he's ready to die. Chaotic neutral.
Really bad egg.
Jack takes a coin in order to protect himself via curse. Very clever. Neutral.
I go in, I convinced Barbossa to send his men out with their little boats. What do you have to lose?
Nothing I'd lament being rid of.
Jack plays this intense gambit to set the pirates against the military and attempts to sway everything in the hero's favor. It's only because of Barbossa's surprise underwater movie ticket trailer selling tactic that the Navy has any trouble whatsoever. Actually lawful good.
Jack accepts his fate, blaming no one. Neutral.
With Will's help, Jack escapes his execution. Chaotic neutral.
Elizabeth. It would never have worked between us, darling.
Aw. Jack lets Elizabeth down softly. What a gentleman. Lawful good.
In true Jack Sparrow fashion, he uses the corpse of a dead man and his coffin to row himself back to the Pearl. It's unclear how he ends up in his situation, but he's Jack Sparrow, so, you know, chaotic neutral.
Set sail in a that way direction. Captain?
Jack has no idea what the fuck he's doing, and he's kind of BSing his crew into just going with whatever his whims take him, despite their restlessness. Chaotic neutral.
The time is up. It comes now to the man what bears the black spot.
Jack awakens his crew in the middle of the night in absolute terror after being branded with a black spot. He gives no explanation, plan, or reasoning, just get to land. Chaotic neutral.
Lam say uniki. Simpstip.
Jack and his crew end up on an island full of tribal nonsense. He does nothing to improve the situation, nothing witty, nothing clever, and nothing even that chaotic. A lot of agency is just suddenly gone. The sequence doesn't make any character look good. Nothing we learn here is even brought back later. This scene just sucks. Nat 1 scene, chaotic stupid.
I row over, search the ship until I find your bloody key. I cut down anyone in my path.
I like it. Simple, easy to remember.
Here, Jack instructs Will to use this incredibly cryptic message if he gets captured. It's clear that Jack does not want Will to suffer from this, but Will gets captured anyway, resulting in this exchange. If he didn't give Will this message, Davy Jones would have not discovered Jack at all, so neutral good in this regard.
Jack hackles over the worth of his soul. Davy decides that if Jack can surrender 100 other souls, he will be free of his debt to Jones. He attempts to get Will back, but Davy cuts him off. He decides to surrender Will over and agrees to damn 99 other people to save his own soul. Lawful evil.
Darling, I am truly unhappy to have to tell you this, but poor Will has been press-ganged into Davy Jones's crew.
Davy Jones.
Jack lies to Elizabeth about his involvement of Will going missing, mostly to get on her side. He then, through some very clever psychological but not malicious manipulation, gets her to use his compass to find their heading to the dead man's chest. Hey, that's the name of the movie. This will save both Will and himself. It's hard to determine if he has given up on Will's life, but considering all of the actions he's taken so far, I'm choosing to believe that he thinks he will be able to finagle for Will's freedom. Especially considering he didn't bother to collect the other 99 souls. Although if you determine this to be more chaotic neutral, probably won't argue with you. We have a hard time believing this is evil, though.
To act on selfish impulse. You want to see what it's like.
Throughout parts of the movie, Jack has been playfully flirting with Elizabeth. In this time period, this is a big no-no. Elizabeth is not interested in Jack at all because she is faithful to Will but intends to test Jack's restraint by offering him the opportunity to kiss her, saying he would not do anything to tarnish her honor. If it weren't for the surprise of the black mark reappearing, Jack had full intention of kissing her and compromising her honor.
Dude, we debated way too long on this scene on whether we should include it or not just because of how out of place it feels. Either way, regardless on how you feel about free love and open flirting, this scene just feels gross. And in my opinion, a little out of character.
Chaotic evil.
Everything you said to me, every word was a lie.
Pretty much.
Jack threatens Will and demands the chest for the heart of Davy Jones in order to call off his terrible beastie. Will wants to kill Jones in order to free his father, and Norrington wants the heart in order to get back his life. It's quite sad, really. In reality, they all could probably just talk over a bottle of rum and sort this out real easy, but tensions are high and they're all fighting each other and the movie's got a movie. Plus, we get some Nat 20 fights. Stuart and I had quite a bit of discussion on this. He thinks it's chaotic evil, I think it's chaotic neutral. What do you guys think? Either way, chaotic.
We're not getting out of this.
Not with the chest.
You're mad.
Don't wait for me.
I say we respect his final wish.
Jack stops Will from opening the magic box, which has the heart of Davy Jones, a vital organ made from some unknown magical material. He slaps Will with rowing equipment. It was a real ether ore situation. Ooh.
Hey, fish face! Do something! Hey, Scungili!
Failed intimidate check. No alignment.
Jack flees the pearl, leaving everyone to die. Chaotic evil. He then immediately comes back after consulting his compass, realizing that what he wants most is to be a hero and save his crew and friends. A good man. Just like Elizabeth said! Oh!
Thank you, Jack.
We're not free yet.
Jack sacrifices the pearl to save his crew. It stands to reason that he thinks the Kraken would attack the pearl, considering it did when he was leaving originally. Neutral good.
No alignment here because Elizabeth totally tricked him and he was just caught up in surprise, which leads to his death. A nat 20 death. Jack, accepting his fate, is neutral.
Jack, trapped in the land of the dead, goes a little nuts. After seeing his friends, he at first believes they are hallucinations, but after a time he realizes the truth. He eventually goes back to his goofy self, letting those who are useful immediately on board while ignoring his frenemies. After discovering they have the heading home, he relents and allows them on board. His compass going wild like this represents his wishy-washy feelings at the time and going on his whims. Chaotic neutral.
Jack fully intended to shoot Barbossa and arguably Will and Elizabeth to avoid meeting with the other pirate lords so he can continue to run from Davy Jones and Lord Beckett. Chaotic neutral.
And then you'd be wishing, oh, if only there was someone I had not killed inside to ensure that the pirates then come outside. And you can accomplish all this, can you?
Okay, there's a reason a lot of people might not hold this movie in high regard as the first two. This is over 30 minutes of Jack making roundabout, wacky, backstabby deals in order to lure out Beckett and Jones into a full-out war with all of the pirate lords because they have no alternative.
From the start of the plan, Jack's allegiance and true goals and motivations are confusing. We're just gonna give this a broad, chaotic neutral.
Elizabeth Swan.
Barbossa.
Villanueva!
Elizabeth Swan.
Voting for the most benevolent pirate king. Weirdly? Lawful good?
There has been a breakdown in military discipline aboard this vessel. I blame the fish people.
Jack takes advantage of casual colonial British racism to grab the chest. Chaotic neutral.
Eddie Tonic, holding life and death in the palm of one's hand.
You're a cruel mind, Jack Sparrow.
Cruel as a matter of perspective.
Jack saves Will by giving him the killing blow on Davy Jones. It has been mentioned throughout the movie that whoever does this is bound to the ship as the new captain. This is self-sacrificing since Jack wanted the title ever since he discovered this. Neutral good. Saving Elizabeth through his own volition and not just get a piece of that. Neutral good.
Ready on the gun!
Jack works with the Flying Dutchman to take out Beckett. Lawful good. The reason it is will take several paragraphs to kind of explain. If you want to say neutral good, it's not worth arguing about. Just take our word for it. This leads to Beckett's nat 20 death.
Love, that is a dinghy. My vessel is magnificent and fierce and gone. Why is it gone?
Jack, realizing his ship has just been stolen again, is brutally honest with his pickup wenches and just kind of hurts their feelings because he's mad. It's not really a huge thing, so only half a ding. It's only like half pixels.
Feast your eyes upon this, mateys. I give you the fountain of youth.
Jack, foreseeing the betrayal of Barbossa, steals the magic Chinese map to set off on his own course. Chaotic neutral.
Jack saves Gibbs by disguising himself as a judge and tricks the court into not hanging him through clever wordplay. Really, this is just an excuse to get them out of town. Chaotic good.
Lost the pearl?
I defended her mightily enough, but she was sunk nonetheless.
Barbossa confesses to losing the Black Pearl, and Jack attempts to attack him in a fit of rage. Arguably chaotic evil, but since this is more reactionary, I'm gonna give a very lenient chaotic neutral.
You, sir, have stooped.
Hey, look, it's the comment section of every sponsored video.
Someone, please remove these infernal chains.
Throughout this exchange, Jack has been setting up various parts of his escape, noting the chandelier, the window, the handkerchief. This is a well thought out and chaotic fun escape scene. Even if it goes on a little too long, chaotic neutral.
We take the ship then! Now!
Go on then.
Alright, so a lot of stuff happened between this and Jack's initial escape. He discovers the imposter from earlier is an ex-flame who he apparently seduced and left on an altar or something. He is then captured and brought aboard Captain Blackbeard's ship. Upon discovering that no one has seen said captain, Jack stages a mutiny. Chaotic neutral.
He's religious, I believe it's required.
Jack frees the priest from captivity despite the fact that he will serve no help in the mutiny. Neutral good.
She's not your daughter.
Jack straight up sold out Angelica to Blackbeard. She implied to him in confidence earlier that she was not actually his daughter, she just convinced him she was. It's revealed later that Angelica really is Blackbeard's daughter, but in this moment, Jack doesn't know that, so chaotic evil.
What about Blackbeard?
He's in the chart room. We'll have to be quick.
Jack immediately drops his interest in the Fountain of Youth after discovering the fact that it requires a sacrifice. Neutral good.
Retreat all to land! We alive!
Jack commands the men to retreat on shore because they're being killed by mermaids despite Blackbeard's orders. He also sets off the light tower to save the mermaids as well as the crew again. Chaotic good.
And saves Angelica. Neutral good.
Adele.
During this scene, Blackbeard commands Jack to jump off a really high place in order to get some MacGuffins. In order to incentivize him, he loads a bunch of pistols, some without bullets, and threatened to kill Angelica. He made Jack choose a pistol at random. Jack goes along with this because he doesn't believe Blackbeard would kill his own daughter. He eventually does jump to save her.
Together.
Jack and Barbossa have a temporary truce in order to research and get magical MacGuffins without tipping over the ship, killing them both and losing all the treasure. Neutral.
Jack continues his truce with Barbossa, stealing the chalices from the Spanish and keeping on good terms while Barbossa haunts down Blackbeard. This is honoring another man's totally reasonable wishes of revenge, since it's revealed Blackbeard did wrong by Barbossa by going against the pirate's code and how he stole the Black Pearl from him. This is on top of the fact that Barbossa, although a pirate and an agent of chaos, is not necessarily evil or the villain of the story, more so just the rival to Jack. So believe it or not, lawful good.
There are times, not very often, when I do reflect upon my heinous misdeeds. I note how poorly I have treated Mr. Gibbs, my loyal first mate.
Jack exchanges the MacGuffins for his compass and Angelica's safety. Also Mr. Gibbs, whom he gives his compass for safety. Lawful good.
I say, let them fight each other. Or we lay back, watch, have a drink, play some wagers. Hey!
Jack does a totally reasonable suggestion that everyone who doesn't have a horse in this race let Barbossa fight Blackbeard while they sit back and watch, which would result in the fewest possible casualties. Lawful good and a hilariously self-aware Nat 20 scene.
This one takes life. This one has the tear and gives life.
Aye, hurry.
Jack lies to both Angelica and Blackbeard about which cup will sacrifice the other. Blackbeard takes the cup that he believes will save him, dooming his daughter. Jack did this to save Angelica against their wishes. He then kinda gaslights her into believing that Blackbeard's soul is redeemed. Chaotic good.
I am with child. Yours.
I don't recall that we ever had...
You were drunk!
Jack leaves Angelica on the island. He gives her the customary pistol and one shot. He claims it's a well-traveled trade route and she can be rescued. He does this because he can't really trust her. She's just as likely to kill him as much as kiss him. You could argue this is chaotic good because he leaves her 2 outs, but we think chaotic neutral is more in character.
There's a woman with him in the boat! Never mind about that trollop!
Sir, I believe that's your wife.
Alright, you can have it. Nat 20 scene.
Now line up and offer me your tribute.
Years after the events of Pirates 4, Jack has had an awful time about it. After a failed bank robbery, he demands his crew pay him, and overall he's just a mess.
I better trade. Give me the bottle.
Dude. Jack gives up his one last valuable possession, his compass, for a bottle of rum. Well, it's in character. Chaotic neutral, I guess.
Knew you'd come crawling back, traitor.
The Turner boy gave us 10 silver pieces to save your neck.
Jack saves the witch and Henry Turner, son of Will Turner, and brings them aboard a ship so he can lead them to the movie's MacGuffin. Chaotic neutral, I guess.
She's a witch.
I'm an astronomer.
She breeds donkeys.
Jack threatens to kill Henry if the witch doesn't give him the map that no man can read. Now, granted, he never ever intended to kill Henry. This is just a strong bluff. But he did exploit the witch's emotions to reveal information she didn't want to reveal. By the way, I'm sure she has a real name, but I can't be bothered to remember. Lawful evil.
Might I suggest?
Mutiny. You had to suggest a mutiny.
Karina, the dead are coming.
Well,
Jack realizes that Captain Salazar wants him dead, and the safest place for him is on land, and he suggests to the crew that they take the ship and send them to land. That way everyone is relatively safe. It could be argued chaotic good since he's taking the witch and Henry with them, and the crew could be seen as bait, but this plan is solid enough to be neutral good.
Jack saves Henry while escaping Salazar and his sharks. Neutral good.
Smith? Smith is quite an unusual name. Did we not once know someone called Smith?
Jack tries to leverage his knowledge that the witch is Barbossa's daughter. It would be interesting if this movie wasn't so... I'm tired.
Remember when these movies were fun?
Lawful evil. So that's the end of that. Oh, I should,
Oh, no, Stuart. We are done, all right? We are done with this crappy movie. Jack fights a Salazar-possessed Henry, but uses non-lethal means so as not to harm him. Neutral, good. These last two have ruined the franchise for me.
I feel Captain Jack's best movies were definitely the first three, Black Pearl especially, as the last two show that he can't really carry a movie as a primary protagonist. His strongest depictions are, in my opinion, as a supporting character, which works for someone who has such a strong reputation and not totally benevolent motivations. We can see in the fourth and fifth movie that because Disney can't really have a hero with problematic actions and motivations, he starts making a whole lot more good and lawful actions, because remember kids, pirates never steal.
I've mentioned before that I don't often know the final alignment of the character until late into the editing process, but we were looking at our spreadsheet and I'm fairly certain that he didn't end the series at chaotic neutral, despite that's where he probably should be most of the time. That is the consequences of both story writing and executive meddling.
If I had it my way, for as messy as it was, I think At World's End would have been the perfect wrap-up movie to end the franchise. Hell, it even makes sure to tie up all the loose ends as well. But franchises got a franchise, and Disney realizes everybody loves Johnny Depp, so 2 more movies it is. Sorry, Captain. You deserved better. If anyone's interested in any D&D things I'm doing, I've been streaming and re-uploading my first live public D&D campaign, Balkanus Necro Hunt. It's one that's near and dear to me and has gone through many rewrites and iterations over the years. The players are fantastic, and the art I've commissioned is so good. If you have the time and want to watch or listen to a D&D campaign that won't be more than 30 sessions long, with cool art and nice music and an easy-to-follow premise, come and join in.